everybody, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another episode of Treknalysis, the Captain and the Hunky First Officer. That's right, Resolutions, the Season 2 episode of Star Trek Voyager that finds Captain Janeway and Commander Chakotay in a will-they-won't-they situation. It's perhaps one of the most frustrating things I've ever witnessed, and yet it's one of my favorite Voyager episodes. Between Janeway's hesitance at the hunky man before her, Tuvok's indifference, and the crew's bordering on mutiny, you'll want to get your box of chocolates ready like you're about to sit down to a Hallmark movie. Today, we're talking resolutions, and not the New Year's variety.
I like that. I've always looked better in beige.
Janeway and Chakotay awaken inside stasis pods on what appears to be a lush green planet, receiving a wake-up call from the holodoc, or EMH. Both Janeway and Chakotay have been in stasis for 17 days because they were infected by a virus caused by an insect, and the doc was unable to find a cure. To make matters worse, if they leave the planet, the virus may kill them. Quite a pickle they find themselves in. The doc suggests contacting the Vidians, which, for those who aren't super familiar with Voyager, picture a sickly alien race based around the urban legend of waking up in a bathtub with a note saying, "I took your kidney, call a doctor." They were set up as one of the early antagonists in Voyager before fading away and apparently being cured by none other than George Costanza.
I defy you to come up with a better name than Seven.
One of my most gifted crewmen, 7 of 9.
A Borg? They're stealing the name? That's my name! I made it up!
Rather than risking the safety of her crew from ending up in a Snopes article, Janeway turns command of Voyager over to her chief of security and longtime friend Tuvok, forbidding him from contacting the Vidians, and her and Chakotay plan to spend the next 60 or so years looking at each other on this planet. But dang, what a view Catherine has. Voyager's crew is, of course, upset that they're leaving them behind.
I can tell you the morale of the crew is going to suffer if we leave them behind.
But Tuvok has his orders, and he did leave behind everything Janeway and Chakotay need to lead comfortable lives on this planet. He even left them a shuttle that can go warp forward just in case Janeway finds a cure and wants to get off the planet.
It won't take them more than, about 700 years to get home.
Meeting adjourned and the senior staff leaves, except for Reverend Ensign Harry Kim, who is particularly upset at all this. After all, the captain hadn't even promoted him yet.
I didn't notice a little box on my chair.
Back on the planet, Janeway's gathering her sciencey stuff to find a cure, while Chakotay's concerned about building a home, in more ways than one.
We don't have a bathtub.
A bathtub?
I love a bath. It's my favorite way of relaxing.
Meanwhile on Voyager, B'Elanna's upset, Harry's upset, the whole crew is upset, and Harry begins to ferment unrest among the crew.
I hear you're planning a mutiny.
Routine has begun to settle in for the captain and her first officer. Janeway has replicated herself a nice olive green dress, very smashing by the way, and hello Chakotay! Chakotay's opted to compete with the likes of Mr. Darcy, cosplaying as every romantic character out of classic literature that women have fawned over for centuries. He's also been hanging out in the woods for the last couple of days, working on an ever-so-secret project. And there's a bit of flirtatious teasing going on.
And why can't you tell me?
You can't stand it, can you? You're like a little kid wheedling.
Tuvok to Janeway.
Not now, Tuvok! Janeway says her final goodbyes to the very depressed crew, and Tuvok, and Voyager leaves orbit. Now, you remember a little passing line that Janeway said earlier?
We don't have a bathtub. I love a bath. It's my favorite way of relaxing.
Well, look what Chakotay's secret project was! A bathtub! A pretty personal gift, wouldn't you say? So Janeway's taking a bath with an earshot of Chakotay working on sand art, and, let's face it, they're already an old married couple.
Chakotay, are you there?
No, I left an hour ago.
Complete with the dad jokes!
You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Notice that Janeway's just taking a bath out in the open. No screen, no nothing, just her towel, the bathtub, and Chakotay working on sand art.
Chakotay!
What?
Save me with your manly arms!
It looks like some kind of primate.
Yeah, we call that a monkey round these parts. Janeway's curious about the monkey's physiology, and Chakotay is curious about Janeway's. But like looking into the sun, Chakotay's been staring too long and heads back inside to his sand art. Janeway follows him, this time wearing little more than a towel, to continue her research. Chakotay, after seeing the view from earlier, tries to convince her to accept what has happened. After all, even the EMH couldn't find a cure.
My people have a saying. Even the eagle must know when to sleep.
To be fair, he does have a point. It is a bit of a long shot that Janeway will even find a cure. Kathy's not willing to give up, though, and she needs to keep looking. And then continues her work while aggressively blocking her view of Chakotay. Why, girl? Fast forward 6 weeks on Voyager, and Harry detects the Vidians, the same Vidians Captain Janeway told Tuvok not to contact before they steal Neelix's lungs again. Tuvok gives orders to alter course to avoid them, following Janeway's orders, but Harry objects.
Captain Janeway specifically told us not to risk contacting the Vidians.
But it's not like we went out of our way to find them.
Tuvok tells him to shut up, and Harry decides to Tuvix his way through the situation.
What's wrong with the rest of you? You know I'm right.
Doesn't anyone see that this is wrong?
Tuvok then tells Harry to get off the bridge or he'll get thrown in the brig. There's also the Tuvix option, but nobody's talking about that one. Harry goes to the mess hall, and it turns out the other crewmen are siding with him. In fact, most of the ship agrees with him. I'm pretty sure this is bordering on mutiny at this point.
Is there something going on that I should know about?
Meanwhile, Tuvok is in his jammies, his shoulder-padded jammies. What is this, Dynasty?
There's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
It's 1 a.m., Tuvok's reading, having a drink, and Harry knocks on his door. See, this is why you're still an ensign, Harry.
I didn't notice a little box on my chair.
Harry floats the idea of contacting the EMH's old girlfriend, Dinara Pell, a Vidian, but one of the nice Vidians, to ask if she has a cure. Tuvok points out that they just destroyed a Vidian ship, so they're probably not too thrilled to see Voyager at the moment. Harry, of course, continues to press the issue at 1 in the morning, even going with the "most people on this ship disagree with you" argument, because that always works.
I'm going to say this once, and once only.
It is 1 a.m. I am tired, and I would demote you to cadet at this point if I could. Meanwhile, dang, Chakotay! Chakotay has just replicated himself a poet shirt and looks fit to replace Fabio on all the romance book covers. Janeway's off on another science run, while Chakotay is using his fine, manly muscles to make a headboard for Janeway!
I've noticed you sometimes sit up in your bed to read. Figured you might as well have a comfortable backrest.
Okay, I have to stop here. Catherine, what the hell are you doing? He's perfect! I mean, do you know how hot it is for a guy, and a good-looking guy at that, to build things for you? A house, a bathtub, headboards? Like, if you don't want him, can you give him my number? And I know what you're all probably thinking. Waz, isn't Janeway already engaged? Yes, Mark is still in the Alpha Quadrant, but consider this. She's stranded in the Delta Quadrant. It was going to take over 70 years to get home. Yes, Voyager was going to look for shortcuts, but there was no guarantee of that. Slim chance they would make it home in a reasonable amount of time. Then her and Chakotay get the virus, and they can't leave the planet because they could die, and a cure seems very unlikely. Slim chances went to practically non-existent at this point. And even providing that Janeway does find a cure, the shuttle can only go warp 4, so it'll take them 700 years to get home. Unless, of course, they find shortcuts, but again, there's no guarantee of that. Let's be real, Chakotay is kind of it at this point, and he's one heck of a catch. And then what makes me even madder is that Mark ended up moving on and married someone else 6 months after Voyager was lost. Like, he couldn't even wait a year? I know she had no way of knowing this, but Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, be still my beating heart. Even Riker's looking at this like,
Damn.
Janeway tells Chakotay that it seems like he's giving up, but Chakotay says,
I can't sacrifice the present waiting for a future that may never happen.
which realistically makes sense. And I'm not just saying that because he's hot in that outfit. They really are stuck there. Janeway says that she may have to let go at some point, but she still wants to try to develop a cure and heads off into the woods. Chakotay continues to, in a very hunky fashion I might add, make headboards for their beds. And a storm just rolled in. And like Alan Rickman coming to Kate Winslet's rescue in Sense and Sensibility, Chakotay comes to Janeway's.
Are you hurt?
No, I couldn't keep my balance and carry the case.
Give it to me.
Oh, Chakotay, hold me with your manly arms. Well, there goes Kathy's research. Guess she'll have to let go now. After the storm, Chakotay decides to expand their home, namely by adding rooms and...
But I was actually thinking of logs.
As in log cabin?
Log cabin? He wants to build a romantic cabin in the woods. Janeway makes a comment about how her parents made her go on camping trips growing up and that she hated it.
No bed, no replicator.
Not a single luxury.
Chakotay suggests that maybe those trips help prepare her for life here, and she responds with...
Life here is much better than that. Well, hello there.
Come here, my little friend. Don't be afraid.
After a long day of work, Catherine has a bit of a neck ache. Oh my.
My mother used to get sore necks all the time.
I'm gonna go to bed now.
Oh, too fast, Chakotay. Help! I'm feeling! Janeway gets up and goes to Chakotay because she wants to define some boundaries. Even though she said earlier that they're no longer in a command structure, call me Catherine and all that.
We aren't exactly in a command structure anymore. Maybe you should call me Catherine.
So it's not like she has to worry about getting involved with someone under her command. But to be fair, Chakotay did move a little fast there. She had only just this afternoon was more accepting of the idea that they're stuck there, and Chakotay swooped in with a somewhat sexy neck massage.
Oh, that feels good.
I don't want to feel that good right now.
Chakotay, however, clearly has feelings for her and confesses them by making up an ancient legend from his people.
Is that really an ancient legend?
No.
Is that another old Okinawan saying?
No, new Okinawa saying.
How new?
About 10 seconds.
Janeway is so touched by all this that she's moved to tears. Like, what the hell is this episode doing to me?
But what is this salty discharge?
And just when things start to get good, the scene fades out.
Rearm the forward phaser array.
Not now, Tuvok! Janeway has started up her little farm, growing some tomatoes so that maybe one day this scene can happen. Meanwhile, Chakotay is working on yet another project.
A boat.
A boat?! So, he built her a house, a bathtub, headboards, and now starting a boat. Chakotay, why aren't you real?
Janeway and Commander Chakotay. Please respond. We have medicine which we believe will effectively treat your condition. We plan to be in orbit within 30 hours.
No, let me finish!
So Tuvok managed to get a cure from Dinara Pell, and they're picking up Janeway and Chakotay. Chakotay, as well as the rest of us, is visibly disappointed they're going to be cured and rescued, and even Janeway is a little sad to see it all go. Janeway and Chakotay take their seats on the bridge like nothing ever happened, and sadly, the rest of the show plays out like it never happened either.
It never happened.
And the episode ends without Tuvok or Harry being court-martialed.
If I were a superior officer, I'd court-martial both of you.
And that was Star Trek Voyager's resolutions. I suppose I should say something analytical so it doesn't seem like I made this video just so I could talk about how dreamy Chakotay is in this episode. I mean, I don't even crush on him, and dang.
Damn.
I think I can buy Janeway and Chakotay's romantic relationship in this episode because there was proper build-up for it at this point in the show. They came to be good friends who worked well together and spent a good amount of time together, so I can buy that their relationship could progress beyond that. I know there are some Chakotay 7 of 9 fans out there, but I just don't buy that relationship because of the lack of proper build-up. I mean, I acknowledge it happened, but I acknowledge it the way I acknowledge that Worf and Troy were a thing. To me, Seven and Chakotay come across at best as a couple of co-workers who got along alright. Maybe acquaintances, and maybe I need to do a Voyager rewatch, but I don't recall them spending a lot of time together, at least not to the extent that Janeway and Chakotay did. And then all of a sudden they started dating. Janeway Chakotay just made a heck of a lot more sense. Also, dang girl, you had your chance and you blew it! In short, Resolutions is a decent episode, and Janeway and Chakotay should have gotten married.
And I am unanimous in this.
So what do you think? How do you like the episode Resolutions? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you buy Janeway and Chakotay as a couple? Is Resolutions a frustrating experience for you as well? And what are some of your favorite and least favorite Star Trek romances? Please leave a comment below and discuss. As always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Treknalysis. If you like what you see, why not give my video a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends! Until next time.
Couldn't Starfleet have come up with something a little more cheerful?
Like polka dots?